Yo, what's good guys, but I'm Fire here back with another video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys Henry's Championship Gun Bunch offset from the Madden 22 Bowl. Now, I do know that last tournament we did the wild card one. Of course, Henry won that tournament as well, which is why I was kind of hoping that Wesley ended up winning this tournament so we could bring you guys somebody else. But trust me, after rewatching the games, rewriting down the setups, there's a lot of new setups in this video that were not in that Madden wild card one. That was probably like a month ago or so. Yeah, probably your best bet is to kind of combine these two. You'll see a ton of new setups in this video, but I will also be bringing some new people as well. I'm planning on doing like 5 or 6 of these if you guys show enough love. Spamming buttons for sure. We'll be doing probably Wesley eventually. Just different guys. Canes, I mentioned doing him, and I've had a couple of requests to do defensive versions of these. This is very difficult to do those because you can't see the play art, so I just kind of have to analyze what every single player on the field is doing, whereas if I can see the play art, I can easily write it down. So those are very difficult to do, especially when we can't see their play art, so probably won't do one of those. But let's get into this bunch offset. Cincinnati Bengals offense, as far as abilities go, he had escape artist, set feet lead, or yes, pass lead elite, one of those, I think pass lead elite. And he had an outside apprentice here, or wide receiver apprentice, and then he had another one here. So one on the outside of the bunch, one on the other side. You can just put on both these outside guys. He had a couple of post-ups as well, which helped him throw the ball down the field. But again, Bengals playbook, and also the written version of this ebook will be down below in the comment section pinned, so you can open that up and have the video as well to follow along. So our audibles are going to be Flood, Z-Spot and Go, Vert, Tap Back Under, and PA Dig Fork. We didn't actually run PA Dig Fork at all. If you want to see some setups for that, you can go to the other video that I posted on him. But as far as the other plays we're going to go through, we're going to talk about Smash Return. He actually ran this halfback cross screen. He was able to beat like cover 3 for it. I have no idea how he did that because I tried it and I just can't beat cover 3 with it. But I'll show it. Smash Return, we of course mentioned that cross screen. And then, like, the counter was the other play he ran. It's a ton of verticals, so let's start out in that. All right, so here we are out on the field. Now, the way that the ebook's written is it's written based off the bunch being on this right-hand side. And there will be certain setups where we like have to flip, and that's where, okay, I'll say, like, cross B and then flip, and then I'll go back to the adjustments based on the other side. Those will be far and few in between, and, of course, the ebook written will let you know of those. But we're going to start out with Vert Tap Back Under, which was by far his most called play. If you watch that game versus Astro, which was the semifinal game, I watched, and for this ebook, I watched that game and then, of course, the championship, generally what I do. It's a lot of verts. It's a ton of verticals, by far, in a way, the most called play. And really, it's not a lot of hot routing. It's really just letting this super good play do its job. And the first setup's going to be just to wheel the running back and run it like this. Just super, super difficult to beat. It's going to be really good against man coverage. You have the wheel, you have RB that's going to be open. A lot of people won't even run man, but look at zone. You see, look how open Singletary is, and that's without any smoke screen or anything else over there as well. Now, as far as bunch goes, you probably, if you watch the game, you notice he did go to the short side of the bunch in particular scenarios, which you can do. It doesn't necessarily have too big of an effect on the play, but if you wanted to, you could definitely do that as well. Or you could come out in short side, flip to wide side, come out in wide side, flip to short side. Just do different tactics that he used to throw him off. But this play is really, really good. A lot of times what you saw him do and what you actually noticed him do on the his last passing play of the game in that championship game is the user is going to follow. And this was he ran a different setup than the wheel, but kind of the same thing, where he actually ends up usually throwing RB inside the numbers. A lot of the times with these setups, it's a lot of quick reads. You're not really trying to wait and have to roll out and then throw that deeper route, which you can do, but generally that'll be on max protect type setups. So again, what you're really looking to do is just kind of get the ball off quickly. Look for Y, A, and RB are your main 3 guys. You will also see particular scenarios, depending on the player that you play against, where B can be open deep and X can be open deep as well. But again, really, you're trying to just throw the ball quickly, like right about here. Take a couple seconds, read the field, see who's open, and throw it. You don't want to get in those late play situations if you don't have to. His offense didn't really feature that much rolling outside of the pocket. It was generally escape bars through the middle. But we're going to go through pretty quickly. We do have a handful of these setups, so got to go through pretty quickly. Next setup is going to be verticals. All we're doing here, out route to the left side. So again, it's a lot of the same stuff, just changing up a route here, there. With the verticals, we're going to have basically like 3 of these setups with just different running back routes. And then, of course, if you want to run verticals, you could also run it stock if you really wanted to. But I don't think I wrote that down. But, I mean, yeah, pretty good. I'm going up against cover 3 in all of these stock. Not using 2 controllers because I'm not going to set up a defense every single play. That would be a pain. But just letting you know what coverage I am in. So, yeah, man, you just see same reads. Against cover 3, the wheel route's going to be open really every time. It can also get open against man coverage as well. And really, what you're doing with the running back is you're just reading what he's doing with his zone drops and his coverage. If he's only playing a deep player on that left side because he's worried about Diggs' route, that's where you can just go underneath and you can just easily throw this to Devin Singletary. Again, in those late play situations, you could just easily roll out and really throw this every time. And again, most zones won't match with the way that the hook curl is. So you could definitely do that if you want to. Or you could, just kind of stand through the pocket, throw it right about here, and it should be caught. And again, not many zones will follow it. A lot of guys will have their zone drop set, so those matching zones should not be too big of an issue. Moving on to our next setup. For our next setup, I think we just went ahead, blocked the tight end. This is if you think he's sending pressure. He's in that big dime 2-3-6. Or he's in a 2-4-5 odd. You're not sure what he's doing, but he's probably sending pressure. So this is where, all right, we're just going to block our tight end, and we're just going to make a read between generally our running back and our crossing route. If it is cover 2 shells, don't sleep on Michael Thomas's route in this case because he can definitely get open. But against cover 3, he's not really going to do much. You can kind of actually throw it in here if you really wanted to. Kind of a risky pass, and I would probably stay away from that unless I had to make a pass. If it was like 4th and down or something, 4th down or whatever the case may be. So again, you can generally just roll out, kind of throw this. It's really open against every single coverage. I'm sure a lot of you know that, especially those that have been running bunch all year, that you can really throw this crosser with Stephon anywhere and anytime. And you can throw it earlier, you can throw it later on the sideline. You can even throw it in between the numbers, and it's going to usually be open every time. So nice play there. Moving on, we're just going to go ahead streak our running back here. Streaking the running back. This is the play that he threw, I think, on that championship last play where he threw the tub to, I don't even remember who it was, but I think it might have been like Andre Johnson. Honestly, forgot. But he just threw it like right about there. And again, what you saw with Wesley's user was he was kind of strafing in between the running back route and Stephon's route. So just that little second of hesitation can kind of allow you. And this is a little bit different than the wheel route. If for whatever reason he's able to play that wheel route outside, because again, what you're going to do when you start off the game is run this setup until he shows that he can stop it. Then after he finally figures out how to stop it potentially, what you're going to do is you're going to start doing things like this: out route, in route, little streak, different things to throw him off. And that this is just out of verticals. You could literally drive down the field just doing that, and you really wouldn't get stopped. And Henry really ran verticals probably like 70% of the time. Some weird number around there. 70% of his plays, I would say, around there was probably verticals. So that's why we're going to spend the most time on it. Go through reads, go through different progressions. And again, I would like to go to different coverages, but it just makes the video a little bit long. So we're just not going to do that. But again, Stephon's generally going to be open in that position. Not many people are going to leave 2 yellow zones there. But this play is pretty good against cover 3. This is one of my favorite all-time red zone plays that I've even been running before this year. Most people didn't really run the setup until it became popular with the pros, but I've really been running the setup for years out of verticals, and it's very, very good. So that is going to do it for that setup. We actually got 2 more vertical setups, I believe. In this one, we went ahead and blocked A. And these lower setups are ones that he ran maybe once or twice in the game, so less popular. But he blocked his tight end. He went ahead and put the running back on a route like this. And you could leave him on his route, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. But I do think he used that hot route. And then he put X on an in route, and he smart routed it. So here was the setup. I think he ran this on his last drive in the red zone. I don't really think it worked. I think he might have just scrambled, if I remember correctly. But this was on that last drive after he got that defensive stop. And again, it's a decent setup. It can be good against man, as I forgot to block my tight end. But really, it can be a good red zone setup. I don't like this setup too much. I'm not going to show it too much, but I'll show it just one more time for you guys because I messed it up. Here it is. And again, you're kind of stretching around across the whole field. This is really good if he goes ahead and uses the sidelines a lot. If he's playing double Mabels on both sides, can be good. If he's playing inside, it's not going to be a good setup, really. Moving into our last one, all we did here was we went ahead and put X on a deeper post route. What we did after that was corner B, and then with RB, we put him on an in route and smarted him. You'll see a setup very similar to this one, I believe, out of the smash corner play or smash return play. You'll see a play similar to this, but and this is a hot route master type setup that you could run out of any play in the game, out of any bunch play, but this setup's pretty good. It should be pretty good against cover 3 if I'm not mistaken, if you're able to kind of roll out here, pass lead that to the right side. I'm not sure why we got such a bad pass lead there, but you can kind of see how he was open. And again, you pass lead to the right. Generally, it's going to be a little bit more open than that. And Mike Williams is pretty slow for this game standard, so keep that in mind as well when we try and go through different cover 3 beaters. I'll show this one more time. Here is a look. Corner B, in route RB, post X. And then again, probably try and roll out if you can. If not, you probably could fit it into Thomas over here. Or you have your in route, which is generally designed to pull down the user. So that's going to do it for the verticals plays. And again, we spent the most time on that because it's verticals and it was his, like I mentioned, 70% of the time is something I would say. So next play is going to be Flood. And Flood, we have a couple of Hot Route Master setups. Then we have one kind of normal setup. So what I mean by Hot Route Master setups is these are plays that you can run out of any play and bunch. But I think he just ran out of Flood, so we just put it there. But what you're going to do here is you're going to put B on a crosser. Then you're actually going to flip it. So you're going to put him on the crosser and flip it. With this setup, you can definitely start out in the short side of the bunch. If you prefer to have it going wide side, I'm not going to do that because it's a lot of work. So we're just going to cross B. And because I only have one wide receiver apprentice, this guy's an outside apprentice in Mutt, just get 2 wide receiver apprentices. But cross B, the next thing that you're going to go ahead and do is hitch RB. You're going to block A, we're going to streak X, and we're going to wheel Y. So here's a look at the setup. Pretty simple little crosser. You have your wheel route, and again, these wheels are open against every coverage in the game. Doesn't matter if they're manned up, doesn't matter if there's a vert hook, doesn't matter if there's a hard flat, whatever. They're open against everything, and I'm sure you guys know that. So once again, here's your setup. And again, you really force them to use the wheel routes when you use them so much. He's going to be expecting them a lot when you run verticals. So now you have your little hitch combo, and this crosser can get open both inside of the numbers, as you saw right there, or if you're in a rollout situation, you can definitely throw it in that scenario as well. So I'll show it one more time. Streak X, hitch RB, block A. And again, without these weird little hook curl zones, generally Diggs is sitting there wide open. He's going to pull the user down. But if you are able to roll out, it's going to be a big gain. I think we did get one scenario where Henry was able to throw this deep in that last game, if I'm not mistaken. Could have been either of those games. Again, I don't remember every play, but definitely a good setup there. And we're going to go to something similar with our next play. We cross B again. This time we're actually going to streak RB. We're going to put X on an in route. I thought I put RB on a streak. I guess I didn't. But you're going to put X on an in route. Then what you're going to do is smart out X, block your tight end, and wheel Y. So instead of the hitch, we just have an in route. Pretty much the same thing. And again, these setups are good, especially if they're running man coverage. The in route's going to be a lot better. So man coverage, go with this one instead of the hitch. Also, again, if they're double mabling, heavy outside, this is a pretty good setup to go to as well. So we'll show one more time here. And again, I'm not sure why he switched things up like this, but he did, so I guess we will as well. And again, just run it like this pretty much. Wheel your running back. It's going to create a pretty good combo over there. So again, we have RB on the streak. And again, late play situations, you can actually usually throw Y or B. Generally, you'll try and scramble out a little bit better than that. But those post-ups definitely help, especially against guys that are only rushing 3 or 2 guys. So that'll give you a ton of time, usually. Most guys don't go and rush 4 unless they're blitzing, which will usually be 5 or 6. That's going to take us to our last flood play, and the last one is a pretty simple play, and we're in verticals, so we're just going to chuck this up and go to the ground. But you saw the adjustment. We're just going to put our running back on a little out route, just like so. Pretty simple play. Again, it's really not a whole lot of hot routes. The most hot routes that you see are those hot route master type plays. But again, you saw with verticals, you see with this setup, it's a lot of just keeping the routes the same. Again, the in route's going to be open in that position if they are not keeping 2 hook curls on the field, which you don't generally expect. But throw it to your flats. If it's open, you can take your 7 yards. Pretty simple stuff. I mean, there's not too much to this play. If you can roll out, that's where you can probably throw in your out route or check it down if you want to. Man coverage is going to be good because you have your running back, out route, and your in route that are going to get open. So pretty good play for all of those. It's going to take us to our next play, Z spot and go, which we actually have a handful of setups, about 4. First setup is going to be to post X, streak A, put our running back on an out route to the left, and then put B on an out route. So here is your setup for this. This was a setup that he ran on an early 4th down, I think, in one of these games. I don't remember if it was the Astro one. I want to say it was the Wesley game. This was a good red zone play. Yeah, it was the Wesley game for sure, because I remember the corner out being wide open. He just checked it down to the out route, which almost costed him. But this setup's pretty good. You can a ton of times roll out, throw it to Diggs the way we did there. Good catch to keep the feet in. But yeah, man, this setup's pretty hard to stop. And this is unlike a lot of the setups that we've been running today. So you can kind of see how and expect how it would catch someone off guard there. You see easy 7 yards to the back, almost 8. But, I mean, just really difficult to stop. Nice little clear out concept over here to open things up. The post route with Mike Williams generally isn't really going to be open for a touchdown because you have the tight end streak. So our objective really isn't throwing that for like a 1-play TD, I'll be honest. But again, this is a setup that I think he only ran once. But again, it's a good setup. You don't have to run it only one time just because he did. You can run this however many times you want. It's a good setup. So just because he only ran it one time and he ran verticals 20 times doesn't mean that you can't run Z-spot and go 10 times a game. So we'll just mention that. Moving into our second setup, what we're going to do here is wheel our running back. We're going to put X on a little out route. We are going to also go ahead, put A on an in route, smart out A, and then we're just going to motion B out. So very, very weird. This is a setup that he ran in the red zone. So you can keep that in mind running the red zone. But wheel out combo, really good. Doesn't matter if you're on the short side. Doesn't matter if you have one of those mesh post or mesh spot wheels. Again, these hot routed wheels do just the job, if not better. But again, in route, now it looks weird from the player because you have this Z spot and go route, shake type route with Thomas kind of running in the same area. When you motion him out and motion snap him, he takes a very long time to cut up the field, and you see how him and the in route are not even remotely close. So don't be worried. Don't be shook by the play art. Everything is done for a reason. And again, this setup's probably better in the red zone because it was ran in the red zone. So keep that in mind. But it's a good man coverage play as well. You have your little in route. Corner out's not really going to get open, but this route with Michael Thomas actually is a sleeper route and does get open. You'll see a little bit more of that with some of the other setups as well. Next setup's going to be just to streak your running back, streak Y. The next thing that we're going to go ahead and do is just motion out B. I think it was just ran like this, a little streak. And you have your little B route. Just again, decent spacing. Some of these plays are also intended to quick snap. So if there's only one hot route, just do the hot route, snap it as fast as you can. Don't sit there for 20 minutes. Just get the play on with. So again, if there's not really many routes with it, it's for a reason. Just go out, quick snap, and then go ahead and catch your opponent in either the D lineman position or stuck in a particular adjustment. So definitely just do that. I don't see why you wouldn't do it. Just the objective, of course, is usually to snap the ball as fast as you can unless you're in a chew clock situation. But pretty good setup. Over here on this left side, you do have a little C route with Mike Williams that actually can get open. That was a terrible click on by me, but you saw he was kind of open there. And again, you do want to motion B out. I didn't do it there, but it is going to help with the spacing between him and the halfback. Halfback, again, usually intended for kind of a quick read. And this play is a little bit tougher for quick reads because you have long developing routes like C routes and these deeper corners with guys like Diggs. So this one's probably one where you're hoping he rushes 3 and you can kind of sit back, relax, and then throw your ball. So nice setup there. Going to move into our last setup for Z-spot and go. What we're going to do here is post X, wheel Y, block A, and just motion out B. Same setup as the first one. Biggest difference is no tight end streak, and we have a wheel instead of an out route, but you're still going to motion B out. And with that first setup, also, we put B on an out route instead of this route. So here you see an example of us potentially throwing that post route. Post route, if it's cover 2, will be open in this play a little bit better than that second setup because we don't have the streak bringing the deep in words. This deeper post wheel route combo is going to leave the wheel route to be open every single time. So the wheel, you can throw it early. If you want, you should be able to still roll out, throw it to Diggs. I love that animation, by the way, but you should be able to roll out and throw that to Diggs really every single play if you wanted to. Here I'm going to throw it to the running back, but show it one more time with the play art. And again, man coverage, Mike Thomas is going to be open, but here you see wheel route, easy 10 yards. You fall forward, you're almost at 15 yards. Sorry about that. That's going to take us to our last 3 setups, which we only have 2 setups for smash return, 1 setup for cross screen, and 1 which is a run play. We're going to start out with smash return, pretty good play. Bench pivot is also in this offense, but smash return I think is a little bit better. And actually with one of these plays, one of these setups was, which I forgot to put in, was cross B. You flipped it, streaked RB, wheeled Y, and blocked A. So this is a setup that was actually ran. I don't know why Diggs is showing a streak like that. He's going to run a regular streak, but this was a setup that was ran. I like this setup pretty good, so I'll just throw it in there, but he only ran it once, so I don't think I put it in for some reason. And because I had a lot of those cross plays, or those flip B plays in the flood category, but then I realized that this one was in smash return, so I just decided not to put it in. But you're seeing it here in the video, so if you watched the video to this point, thank you, and you get an extra setup. But smash return, our original setups are going to be the slant RB, block Y, and then go ahead, post X. So here is your setup. Slant RB, no motion on this one, but this is a cover 3 beater, pretty good. It should work a little bit better, and again, this wide receiver is slow as crap, but it should be beat a lot of cover 3s generally. I should have picked someone faster, but I don't even know if there are that many faster guys with outside apprentice. But just a basic route combo, pretty good. You have that little reverse zig. This is going to be pretty good against man coverage. You have that slant, you have that inside type zig route, and then you have a deeper post that can all get open. You're going to block your running back for this one as well, but pretty simple stuff, I think. If you are able to roll out, sometimes you can actually throw it to A, like right here, where you see it. So, and again, the cover 3 beater is not going to be as good unless you use like a motioned over streak, but it was getting pretty open in those games, in the championship game, so it definitely can work. We'll see if we can get it to kind of work over here. So we're just going to roll out, pass lead all the way to the right. You see how it could get open. Again, he's just too slow, so he's running that route super slow. But faster guys will get there fast, quicker, and pretty much allow that outside third to be taken out of account, and you just easily pass lead that to the right, and him being open, catch it on the run. So simple stuff there. Setup number 2 for this play will be to max protect, post X, and corner B. Similar to this setup out of the verts halfback under, where I kind of said it was a hot route master type setup. This play we keep RB on his little drag route where, yeah, if it's zone coverage, he's going to kind of stop right about here in between the slot corner and the linebacker. When we ran out of verts, we went ahead and when we ran out of verts, we put him on the in route instead, which is probably a little bit better against man. This is probably better against zone. And again, this is a cover 3 beater, so it can beat cover 3, which most cover 3 beaters do. Just going to max protect here. Corner B, and again, faster receiver is going to get there deeper, quicker, so where you can kind of just like roll out, throw it right about here, and then he's open, he's able to catch it. So pretty simple stuff right there. All those corner out post combinations are intended to beat cover 3, and they can also beat other coverages as well. So pretty good stuff right there. Moving into our next play, we have the cross screen, and somehow, and again, I don't know how he did this, but this play was actually able to like beat cover 3. I don't know how he was able to bring down the outside third in the game, but it was a big play for a touchdown in the game. Again, I don't know how he did that. So this play is it's not very good without it. You actually could run the screen if you want. The screen can get open. If you really wanted to throw a screen, I know a lot of bunch guys aren't the types of guys that would throw actual screen passes, which is why you see someone finding a cover 3 beater out of the play. But as far as the other routes, you actually have a couple of decent stuff. The one thing that really kills this play is the comeback route with Mike Williams. If he was on a streak instead of a comeback, this play would be so much better. than it is, because then you could actually fit Diggs' route in. Diggs on that weird crosser, and it's pretty deep. You see he's running super deep down the field. If he was on a streak, he would be money. You can't hop route out of this play, which is why I was kind of confused on how he was able to beat it for cover 3. But you have a drag, you have a kind of a cross you can throw in the middle of the field, and then I don't know how that deep fade gets open, but it can get open against cover 3, as it did in the game. Last play is counter Y. This play is pretty good. This was the run play that he really used exclusively. He did use a little bit of that inside zone split, but I think he used this one a little bit more, and this one is probably a little bit better. We'll throw a pick 6 there, but back to the counter Y. It's a pretty good run. You can, again, do different things like flip it and run if you want to, just to mix it up a bit. And again, I think the run looks a little bit better from the side, where if you're using a right-handed quarterback, which all of you should be, I think the run looks a little bit better with your bunch on the left side. Just looks like a quicker type handoff. I'm not sure what causes it. I think it turns it into like more of an 0-1 trap look, I want to say. But it's pretty good from both sides. Usually you're not going to use motion. You can fake a couple of hot routes, but you see if our left tackle is able to seal off Hendrickson right there, it's going to be a touchdown every single time, which he generally is unable to. But not a touchdown, but at least a first down usually. And again, don't run the ball too much, but mix it in a little bit every now and then. You'll be fine. If you're trying to chew clock, you can run this play. Pretty difficult to shoot as well with a gap shoot with all these guys pulling. And obviously, a quicker running back helps as well. But it's pretty much going to do for the video. If you guys did enjoy, drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let me know who else you want to see down below. And peace. I'm out of here.